Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today is day 11 of my challenge. Today is August 8th. When I open YouTube, there's a lot of video about Lionsgate AA8 and all that. So I'm gonna read about it because it's spiritual and then it's kind of related to the topic that I wanted to cover today. Today I want to talk about these books that I've been reading. First is Untethered Soul and the other one is Living Untethered. So this one, I read this one last year during the summer, and actually that's when I started reading spiritual books. I've always interested in self-help books, but not spiritual. But then when I start reading this, I have a lot of insight, and this one, it's about the journey beyond yourself. It's mainly about, now I have to remember, your mind, your consciousness, and your thoughts. Like how do you manage them and how do you deal with them in life? And after reading this book, I really enjoyed it. I enjoy reading them, and because each page or each chapter, it's very, you gotta internalize it. For those of you who have read this book, you understand what I mean. It's like, it's very deep, and it's not like a storytelling that you understand everything after reading it. I feel like you have to read it a couple times to internalize what the book is trying to tell you, and maybe also depending on what stage you are in your life, So I feel like I'm gonna read this book again. But because I read it for the first time last year, I feel like it gave me a lot of insight of my own thought process and how I see the world. And I found it super interesting, super fascinating to, understand that perspective that someone introduced to me. So the author is Michael A. Singer, and if you want to know what he looked like, this is what he looked like. Thank you for these amazing books. So I really enjoy it. For those of you who haven't read it, I highly recommend this book to start, because I feel like this is his first book, I think, from my research. And then now I'm reading this one, Living Untethered. This one was published in, I think, 2020. It's pretty new. 2022. Okay, so it's new. So what I learned about, so when I read this, I read this in the morning, if I have some free time or when I go to work in the subway. So far I have read to page 34. So what I learned about this, from one of the point that I pick up, is that you're the subject and everything else in this world, it's an object. It's about your experience, how you see the world, and most of the things that when you see right now, to your left, to your right, they don't matter to you. Like, if you exist or not, the life goes on. So I feel like one of the important lessons that I learned from reading this book so far is that you just gotta let it go, and whatever happened, you take the best of it, and have a positive mindset and just let it go. And most of the things that it doesn't really matter to you, you just take it personally. And that's what it says in the book. It's like it happens, everything happens, life happens, and because you take it personally, you focus on it and you took it personally, and therefore it's giving you emotion. It's sending you a signal that you have to react this way, but you don't, and you can choose to react differently, to choose to have a different mindset. So I feel like that's very powerful, because most of the things that you perceive in the world, it's through your mind and your thought process. And if you can have a positive mindset or thought process, and I feel like the world, it's going to be better, and how you see things in perspective, it will be better for you. And and I feel like life is better with the positive mindset. So yeah, I highly recommend these books for you. If you have something in mind that you can recommend to me to read, I've read some other spiritual books as well. Maybe I can introduce that in my next video. If you have some other good books that you wanted to recommend, send me the book title in the comment below, and I'll read them and I can give you feedback. yeah, so I'm gonna continue reading this book, and when I'm finished I will show you guys. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.